I have the best possible squad you can ever have in the game. I no longer use free cards or 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. You know, we used to experiment with these kind of stuff. But on eFootball, unlike PES, you could really struggle against anyone with an average free team, in a sense. So you gotta go out there with your best possible squad. And I think if I filter it by position, I don't think I have a bad card. Maybe some of them, I rate cards based on, are they good for Division 1, rank 1000 and above? Some of them are not. But I have 65 epics and I can say this is the best possible meta squad you could possibly get. From goalkeepers to defenders to fullback, offensive, defensive. From defensive midfielders, anchor, destroyer, defensive box to box, offensive box to box, playmakers, versatile players, edge crossing, blitz, you name it. There are maybe 3 to 4 cards I would say from, you know, rank 1000 above. It may not be effective in a sense, but it also depends on who you're facing. Like if I face somebody really good, rank 500 above, probably I would not start, let's say, Roy Mackay. Or I would not start Totti. Or instead of using Beckham, which is my favorite, I would start Figo, and so on. In terms of a squad, yeah, I mean, you remember, like I used to use GP cards, 1 star cards, 2 star cards. On PES was different because you were able to experiment with different stuff. You could have the fun factor and still dominate. But on eFootball, man, the balance is too heavy. Even against like average free teams, with the best squad I have, most matches I had to try hard, which I shouldn't, because the better your squad becomes, the less you should try hard, in my opinion. But it's difficult. Anyway, so this was like my most consistent setup, but it's very offensive. I would say right now, in end of January almost, this phase 4-4 with quick counter, not gonna help in a higher rank. Called as the E-Contender. Next up we had the Bullet Edge. This is just for the show. My main plan is this one. If I want to go extreme crossing, in a sense. Because look, man, some people see me using this, they call me cross spammer. But I play everything really, so you can't offend me. One week I play crossing, next week I play meta, week after that I use risky setup. This one has to be the most effective setup I used with those particular playing style. But most of the time, if I face somebody who's just spamming that mid attack, I just switch to this. Simple as that. Probably Totti and deep playing forward is not ideal, but I like them. You would want to go with a fast goal poacher and a no playmaker like Messi, Eto'o, for even if you don't have epics, Mbappe and another dribbler, for instance. Asymmetric, this was a formation I used very often because this was the only formation that I can make Beckham effective in a sense. Having a support of a fullback overload on the side. So this is like on and off, on and off. I stopped using it and then I saw some people on top 50 using it. I was like, right, let's bring it back. The sub tactic will switch into something. I mean, I don't really switch to this one, but yeah. Then we got the Catenaccio. If I'm on a streak and lose one game, I just switch to this one. It's something like this. Next up, we got 4-4-2 flat. 4-4-2 flat is just not like, if you have LMF and RMF, it's not as effective as PES. Maybe if you change one side to AMF to mix it up. This works for position game as well. Or if you have both sides AMFs, that's more central attack. Just a little squad walk in. And then we've got the diamond. I mean, it's 4-2-1-3, but it's shaped like diamond in a sense. Again, if I struggle against somebody who's spamming mid attacks, I just switch to 5-2-3. And the old school PES meta, this formation has been a meta for 20 years. Whether you shape it like this or like this, you know. So that's what we got. But since I got absolutely whipped against the top 2000 rank guy, technically I am like almost top 1k. My highest ranker was. When we started to play a little bit try hard, yeah, I think when you have the time, I don't think me reaching top even 200 is, it's gonna be difficult, but this race against the time. But this phase we're trying hard a little bit, get the top 1k badge, see what happens. Since we've been just experimenting and messing around way too much, maybe we should get a fancy badge or something. So because we lost on a streak, then we're gonna go back to Catenaccio. If you lose, we switch. I had an incredibly good streak. And then against one particular guy, it was for my 5th win streak. I still feel like when you play for your 5th, 10th, and 15th, these matches are ridiculous. Like, have you ever played those matches where every shot against you is a goal? The guy is like comfortably doing everything and you're struggling to do everything. I'm not using the excuse of delay and lag, but when you just watch the opponent just do whatever he wants and he can't hardly take a turn, that was my whipping loss against a player who was really good, by the way. But yeah, how was Pippo? Well, we're gonna see his debut. A wise man once said, Filippo Inzaghi does not know how to play football. He just knows where he needs to be. He's just always in the right time in the right place. In German, they call players like that Raumdeuter, aka Thomas Müller. So I'm not gonna compare Inzaghi to real life. He's a final touch kind of striker, you know. So ideally, Inzaghi, if you play a cutback spamming game, Inzaghi should stand out like a spearhead, considering that's what Inzaghi is good for. I mean, this one can be better in terms of he's got more technique, but I've spoke to some people who use them. They're like, you know, it doesn't stand out much. Because somebody had him with 100 offensive awareness. I was like, Seb, in games where I need a goal, Inzaghi's nowhere to be found. I do a cutback, I time it, boom, he's nowhere to be found, even with 100 offensive awareness. So personally, I don't trust too much into stats or skills that is AI based. Because anything that is AI based, in my opinion, it's so manipulated. It's so balanced out. It's not consistent. A user-based skill like double touch, I can use it, that's different. But AI-based skills like, let's say, Fortress, I call it Fortress, stuff like that, no. Yeah, I mean, attacking awareness, speed, acceleration, these are AI-based status. I don't need a win streak to experience that. What do you mean, Cranky? Pants. What's the best for long ball counter? What's the best what? Welcome back, Jimmy. What's happening, Drone Stormo? Yeah, I got a red card. It was just a mess, man. I mean, look, he was a good opponent. He was playing position. He scored straight at kickoff. I literally had to leave and go get the door. I came back. He already scored again. It was just a messy start. So when a position game guys with a lot of patience takes the lead, he instantly switched to 5 at the back. What option do I have? Sit back and let him dance, or risk it and go offensive? I went offensive. I got whooped. Sounds like a good plan, Tara. You just don't want to be ending up not having the stuff that you need, but if you get into the constant upgrading kind of trend. Hey, at the intro, I saw a picture of your full starting 11 standing in front of a camera before the match. In which mode event you get this photo video animation? Oni X Zel LTU. You have to just clip it, because I don't know which one you're talking about. A standing 11 in front of a camera before. Oh, you mean, look, you're talking about the team play, like a team picture, like, you know, before the match. Is that what you mean, Oni? You do that when you play online events. If the difficulty is like Legend or Superstar, they do that. Just don't skip the match start. You get that in online event. Just don't skip anything, you know? Designed for free in FIFA, who's getting? Well, FIFA had to start doing something. FIFA's doing the eFootball style thing. But that's the thing, when FIFA copies PES or eFootball, they do it 10 times better. So they see people are like going to UFL, playing other games. They're like, all right, what do we do to bring them back? Zidane for free, boom. I have trimmed my squad down because the amount of time I see people having 500 players, but they only focus on 30 players. Like, what's the point? And they hardly even play online events because they always use the same players. So they don't need position trainers, skill trainers. You know what I mean? I don't get it. But I also get it. Like, if your main 30 players have everything you need, then you don't need to discard players because you're not gonna need booster slots and anything like that. For me, I get new players every week. And they need skills. They need booster slots. You know what I mean? And I'm not a collector. If I wanted to not release anyone, I think I would have the largest database of players, including all the epics. Could have literally had a squad of all the gold legends as well.